Good morning, students. I'm Bindu, working as English teacher in Janardhanapuram Higher Secondary School, Ottashegaramangalam. That's in Trivandrum district. You have already covered 3/4 of the first unit, Flights of Freedom, isn't it? You have just one more lesson left. But before we go to that, I would like to tell you a story. You all love listening to stories, right? Yeah. Every one of us love it, I know. Actually, this is not a full-length story. I'm talking to you about a character. Her name is Neeta. It's a slice of life, a food for you to think. Neeta, when the story begins, is a young woman, a software engineer by profession, working in a software company. She's working in a project. And you all know how busy these people are. And all the other members of her team are married women of almost same age and same background. They never get time for loose talks because they are all very busy. During lunch hours, they used to sit round the table and they used to have long chats. And most of these chats include the usual standard complaints of all working women, how to balance a personal and professional life, about the issues in family relations and so on. But Neeta never said anything. She always kept quiet. And all the other women, they asked, why? What happened? Why? You don't have any problem at home? Are you okay? Do you have a smooth and happy life? And she said, yes, I don't have any problem. I have a perfect life. All the other women were very jealous. Oh, they said, oh, so you're having a happy life? You don't have our problems? So you are Mrs. Perfect? She didn't answer. Years went by. Project was over. People went their own way. Later, once, one of the team members saw Neeta. Now she looks very old, with grey hair, very frail, sad and depressed. Now this lady couldn't believe. She went and asked, what happened, Neeta? Why are you looking so frail? You said you had a happy life. You are Mrs. Perfect. And why? What happened? Why are you looking so frail and sad and depressed? She looked at this old friend and she said nothing. Again, this lady asked, come on, tell me what happened. And she started talking. At first she was reluctant, but still she opened up slowly. She said, yeah, I too had problems. In those days, when you were discussing your problems, I too had. But I never had the guts to disclose my problems to you. I always remained silent. I thought it's better to suppress the problems. We should never open up our problems to others. We should always suppress our problems and put up a happy face. I always pretended to be happy. What do you think? Was Neeta right? What is your opinion? Do you think what she did is good for her? Hiding her problems and pretending to be what she was not? What is your opinion? Yeah, come on. Yes? Yeah. It is not. It is not the right way. I fully agree with you. This is not the right way. Hiding problems, suppressing problems. Every one of us have got problems, isn't it? You and me have it. But when does it start troubling us? When we don't accept it. When we are not ready to accept that I have got this problem, we don't accept it. And those cases, it starts troubling us. Isn't it? Haven't you experienced it? Then, at times we try to hide it from others. Again, in those situations also, it's going to create problems for us. And sometimes, certain problems, we cannot find a solution. And what should we do? Should we hide it and keep it in our mind? No. We should share it with someone very close to us. If we do that, our problems will not be big problems. We'll be able to solve it. Don't you think so? Do you agree with me? Okay. Keep this character in your mind, Neeta. Because once we start the lesson, once we go through it, we'll come back. We'll revisit this character. So keep this as a backdrop till the end of the lesson. Keep it in your mind. This character and what she did. Keep it in your mind as a backdrop. Okay, let's go to the last lesson of the unit. It is Hari Gelu, an anecdote by Sudha Murthy. You might have heard about her, right? She's a writer and also a teacher. She has written both in Kannada and English. She has written several novels, short stories, travelogues, and technical books. Now, what we have in the text is an anecdote by her. You know what an anecdote is? It's a brief narrative of an interesting personal incident. Sudha Murthy, in her anecdotes, familiarizes the readers with simple style of storytelling. She entertains them with a wide range of travel experiences, introduces them to ordinary people with extraordinary minds, and inspires them with fresh, positive thoughts. When we read her books, we often feel that she writes not with her pen, but with her heart. She has rightly said, having good relationships, compassion, and peace of mind is much more important than achievements, awards, degrees, or money. This anecdote is included in a collection of real life experience titled The Old Man and His God, Discovering the Spirit of India. Let's begin Hari Gelu. Shall we? Shall we begin? Yes, very good. So, while I read the text, it will be on the screen. The text will appear on the screen. You can go through it. Are you ready? Yes? Yes. Shall I start reading? Okay. Hari Gelu by Sudha Murthy. Hot summer days remind me of my childhood in a little village. See, when we talk about our personal experiences, most of us love talking of our childhood experiences because that is the most thrilling and refreshing experience in our mind, isn't it? For all of us. So she also goes back to her childhood and she starts from there. There was a large banyan tree right in the middle of the village, and I would spend many hours playing under it during my holidays. The tree was like a massive umbrella Massive means a huge, huge umbrella with its branches providing much needed shade and succor. Succor means support. Travelers spend some time sitting under it and catching their breath before going on their way. Catching the breath is a figurative expression. Catching the breath means struggling for normal breath after some strenuous work. To make them comfortable, there was a horigalu under the tree. Horigalu literally means a stone that can bear weight. Have you seen horigalus? Nowadays it's not so common, but in olden days there were a lot of horigalus. So you can see a picture on the screen and I'll read what it is, what it looks like. It was a large flat stone placed horizontally over two vertical ones, thus making a stone bench on which anyone could sit and rest a while, chat with a fellow traveler and exchange news of the road. Do you know the Malayalam word for horigalu? Any idea? There are a lot of Malayalam words for horigalu. One is chumadu tangi. Chumadu tangi. Chumadu tangunnadu. Another word for horigalu, attani. Something which supports you. Okay, let's come to the text. Cool water would be kept in earthen pots near the bench and people could quench their thirst. Quench means satisfy. Before starting their journeys again. I'm sure similar, simple arrangements can be found in villages all over the country. Now in the first paragraph, she is describing that object horigalu, how it looks like and what is the purpose of horigalu. Did you understand? So what is a horigalu? Yes, chomadadani, attani. And what is it used for? To keep our loads so that you can refresh yourself, relieve your muscles. Okay, let's come to the next paragraph. The horigalu in our village holds special memories for me as it is inextricably linked with my grandfather. Now, she is in the second paragraph. What Sudhamurthy, the author, does is she is trying to link this object horigalu with someone very close to her. Who is that? Can you tell me? Yes, grandfather, her grandfather. She's trying to link it and she uses a word inextricably. What does it mean? Inseparably. Yes. So she's inseparably linked with. Horigalu is inseparably linked with her grandfather. He was a retired school teacher and would spend hours every day sitting under the banyan tree and talking to those resting there. When I would get tired of playing, I would sit next to him and observe the people he was speaking to and listen to their conversations. Most of them were villagers taking a break from their work in the fields nearby. They had to walk long distances each day, carrying heavy burdens on their heads. So you know how difficult it is to work under hot sun. So these people, some people were used to work in the fields under hot sun, so they feel very tired. And some people will be carrying heavy loads and they too feel strained and stressed. Tired out by the heat, they would drink the cool water, wash their faces with it, and chat with grandfather. Their conversation would be about their daily lives and worries. So most of the time they talk about themselves, their worries, their tensions, their problems. See, in the following paragraph, the author gives some pieces of conversation she used to hear. Master Ji, this summer has been so hot. I have never seen such dry weather. That is one piece of conversation. Another one is, Master Ji, it's getting difficult for me to carry these large loads on my head. Thank God for this horigalu. I wish my son would help, but he only wants to go to the city. They spoke about the difficulties they lived with. My grandfather could only listen to them, but just talking to him seemed to refresh them for the journey. After some time, they would pick up their burdens with some ease and go on their way. The Horigalu was an important feature in their lives, and as a child, I would often not understand why they blessed it so often for being there. After all, it was only a stone bench. So Sudhamurthy could not understand why these people say thanks to Horigalu, why they are blessing Horigalu. She couldn't understand because she was a small child. She thought, why? It is after all a stone bench. And then her grandfather told her something which is very important. Let's see what he said. Child, a Horigalu is essential in any journey. We all carry our burdens according to our situations and capacities. But every once in a while, we need to stop, put down that burden, and rest. Only then can we be refreshed enough to pick up the load once more. The Horigalu gives everyone that opportunity to do so. It helps people regain their strength. Now focus on two words, journey and burden. Journey എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ എന്താ journey? യാത്ര. ഒരു സ്ഥലത്ത് നിന്ന് മറ്റൊരു സ്ഥലത്തേക്കുള്ള യാത്ര അല്ലേ? ഒന്ന് ആലോചിച്ച് നോക്കിയേ, നമ്മുടെ ജീവിതവും ഒരു യാത്രയല്ലേ? Where does it start from? Yes, at the point of birth. And where does it end? When we die. Yes, from birth to death. Life is a journey. So if journey is life's journey, you have to define the word burden also. What is the meaning of burden? Load. The load that you carry with you when you travel from one place to another. Yes, load. If we call life, if we call journey life's journey, then what is burden? Is it the heavy bag that we carry? നമ്മൾ തൂക്കിക്കൊണ്ട് നടക്കുന്ന heavy bag ആണോ ലോഡ് എങ്ങനെയാണെങ്കിൽ? No. Then what is it? Yes, our problems, our tensions. And where do we keep it? Do we keep that load on our head or on our shoulder? No, within our heart. At times, it increases. Our problems increases. Our heart becomes heavier and heavier. And it pressurizes. And it is not good for our mind and for physical well-being. Isn't it? If you are pressurized, is it good for our mind? Is it good for our physical body? No, not at all. Isn't it? So we have to unburden it. നമുക്ക് നമ്മുടെ വറീസിനെയൊക്കെ എടുത്തൊരു ഹൊറിഗല്ലുവിൻ്റെ പുറത്ത് കൊണ്ട് വെക്കാൻ പറ്റുമോ? ഇതുവരെ കണ്ടതുപോലെ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുമോ? No. What shall we do then? Come on. What shall we do? Yes, talk to somebody. Talk to a person close to us. Very good. Share it. Share it with our friend or someone very close to us. And that is very helpful to release this pressure. Now, these people, when we talk to them, those people who listen to us, these human beings, they help us regain our strength and continue the life's journey. Now, these human beings are acting exactly like that physical horigalu. Do you agree with me? ഈ നമ്മുടെ പ്രശ്നങ്ങൾ കേൾക്കുന്ന മനുഷ്യര് എന്താണ് ആക്ച്വലി ചെയ്യുന്നത്? ചുമട് താങ്ങി ചെയ്ത അതേ ജോലി. അപ്പം നമുക്കവരെ മറ്റൊരു പേരിൽ വിളിക്കാം. Shall we call them human horigalus? Shall we? Yes, human horigalus. Object horigalus unburden our load and bring relief to our body, whereas human horigalus unburden our worries and bring relief to our mind. No doubt, as Sudhamurti said, Horigalus are essential in our life. So, we have reached the end of the first session of this anecdote. And I'll give you some questions. Not very heavy questions, simple questions. Horigalu is a dash. That's the first question. Second question. The travelers blessed the Horigalu in the village because there are 4 options given. First option, it provided them a place to rest. Second option, it helped them quench their thirst. Third option, they would often meet up with old friends. Fourth option, by resting and venting out their worries, they would regain strength to go on with their remaining journey. I'll repeat the options once again. It provided them a place to rest. It helped them quench their thirst. They would often meet up with old friends. By resting and venting out their worries, they would regain strength to go on with their remaining journey. Rewrite the sentence given below by substituting the words in italics without any change of meaning. Cool water would be kept in earthen pots near the bench. Identify the figure of speech used in the sentence. The banyan tree was like a massive umbrella with its branches providing shade and succor to the travelers. Why did grandfather love to spend hours every day sitting under the tree? Horigalu gives everyone the opportunity to regain their strength. What does the author try to indicate here? Now you have to write it in your notebook and submit it to the teacher. If you find any difficulty in answering, read that anecdote, read the first part once again. You will get it because those are direct questions based directly on the text. Will you do it? Yes? Okay, fine. So we have seen the object Horigalu and the human Horigalu. Let me ask you one more question before I wind up. Let me ask you. You have seen this physical Horigalu in the beginning itself, that Horigalu placed in the center of the village, isn't it? Can you tell me, did you find any human Horigalus here? Any human Horigalus so far? Till this part? Any human Horigalus? Yes, come on. Yes, very good. Grandfather. Why do you call him a human Horigalu? Can you tell me? Yes, because you have read it here. Those people who come near the Horigalu, near the banyan tree, what do? They keep their burdens, drink water and talk to grandfather. And grandfather used to listen to what they say. Most of them are talking about their personal worries, their problems, but he listened to them. So we can call grandfather a human Horigalu. Yes, very good. So, with that we come to the end of today's class. We'll meet again. Till then, take care.